1st, 2013. Looks like passing of all in the family. She played Edith Funker. Well, they just said her name, but it didn't come to me. Everybody knows who that is. It was such a All in the Family was such a big part of the 70s. I think they said, looking at it, it aired from 71 to 79. And after that, there was Archie's Place, which was a short run. I think the spinoffs were Jeffersons, of course. That was pretty popular. And I think even Maude came from that session. But I remember shows from the 70s that I watched. I know that was a little bit more sitting around and watching it with my folks. And just they had different things, and I was a little bit probably too young to really understand a lot of it, a lot of what was going on. But I could get the gist of it. I mean, they did try to, add humor. You got to sometimes look at life, and even though some people take it a lot more serious than others, we got to take life with a slice of humor in it. I'm constantly going through. I mean, I really love my occupation, and I really seem to enjoy from job to job meeting interesting people throughout my day, and just being a moment in their life. People moving in today and getting all settled in, and just to hear the surroundings and be present. Like yesterday, there was Grandma and Grandpa, and Grandpa sitting at the table, and they was working on the old sump pump down in the garage. I seen that, and it's overflowing, it's flooding the garage. And I asked Grandma upstairs. I said, you know what they're working on down there? She didn't have a clue and didn't care. I was like, let the guys do what they're going to do. And anyway, he's sitting down having lunch, and he asked, he said, "Where's that rhubarb jelly, rhubarb sauce?" Because the time of year they have rhubarb around here. And she says, "I got the rhubarb sauce or rhubarb cake," and because he wanted some rhubarb jelly on with his sandwich. So it was interesting just to be in different moments, different places. Like the other day, there's a gentleman, and I was telling Gordon, I said, from the time I got there to the time I left, I mean, he didn't quit talking. And it was interesting, him talking about his politics, and I'm more of a, see how do you put it, more of a liberal Republican, because I voted for Obama this last time, but he said, I think it's time for him to get out and try somebody new. He didn't really like Romney or something like that, and then he goes on and tells a story about going off about his neighbors, and it's like you just shake your head and just listen to it and keep working. But just listen to people rant and rave and step into their life, to their moment temporarily, and then fade away. It's like today there was a lightning strike by a mobile home park, and it knocked out like three houses. And whenever lightning strikes, it knocks out our phone, our modems. Modems are really accessible. Not just our modems, but I think just regular modems I've seen get fried. Something must echo back up through the cable or something like that, and kills him, because he was wondering. He said, I have have it on a surge protector and stuff. And I said, well, that's fine if it's coming through the electrical side of the equation, but I said, it comes through the cable, and it just, does something to the modems and knocks them out. At least his, it did. The other guy across the street, it was one of the splitters that's actually in the cabling system. It took the hit and fried out. So it just depends on how close it was and what exactly it echoed through is amazing. And anyway, but I was just thinking, I was looking up when it said 71 to 79, that's pretty much the 70s. It seems like every decade you have your things going on. I know the 60s was such a, not only this space race and going to the moon, and I remember even being in grade school, and they talk about this nuclear stuff. I mean, this missile crisis and having to hover, with these tornadoes going on. I remember having to hover, duck and hover, and the sirens would go off. They would bring us either put us underneath their desk, or we'd all crowd up into the hallways of the school and cover our heads. It was just, and that was the 60s. And then the 70s, had its era. I mean, every decade, the Reagan era and the 80s, and of course, the 90s. We have the Bush episodes and Clinton. So and then this computer thing took off like gangbusters. This whole electronic digital age is here. It's made leaps and bounds. I know there's this one a couple of TV stations that played nothing but old clips. I know Gordon was listening. He said he was up late watching the Burns and Allen show, and there's a lot of these black and whites. I think I was in the customer's house, and he was playing one of these old Gunsmoke, black and white Gunsmoke ones. And it was done really well. I was doing other things, and he still had his satellite dish hooked up. So while I was doing my other things, I could still watch, because he wanted both things hooked up until the one actually expired. So putting in cable but interesting story. I think when you get older, more mature, you look at things a little differently and understand more of the stories and plots of things that go on in life. But of course, these shows are written for us, the adults. When you're younger, you just don't have a clue, and you don't really care to have a clue either. So it's interesting life. But this goes off. I wish I could remember her name now. I'm gonna play this. This is actually the movie theme from All in the Family. Can't really hear it. She had a voice. There's this newer generation has there's a show called The Family Guy, and it starts out that she's playing on the piano, and he comes in and starts singing, and it's basically taken off of this, and they have a lot of skits and things going on, and he's kind of works for the government and kind of stuck in his way, and she's more liberal and open, and tries to get him to understand that not everybody's against you and after you, and it's pretty humorous. Gordon's never got into it, but the times I've watched it with Charles, it's very funny and humorous, because it's just you got to laugh. You got to laugh at life, or life will laugh at you. So here we are, starting another month, June 1st, 2013.